This is The Difference Makers, a Paladin security podcast. Each week, we take you inside the world of security for a first-hand look at the inner workings of the industry. But it's about more than just protecting property and manning events. It's about going above and beyond to make the world a safer and friendlier place.
Hey there, and welcome to The Difference Makers. I am Diego Viramontes with Paladin Security. At Paladin, we always like to feature the amazing stories of our professionals in security rising through the ranks. This time around, we had the privilege to talk to one of the most passionate women in security. Security Supervisor Diana Drazek is a 6-year Paladin veteran who has an exceptional drive for people, customer service, and making a difference in her community. She knew she wanted to protect the public since she was 8 years old and is also looking to pursue a career in law enforcement. She was not quite confident in her skill set to take her career to the next level until she joined Paladin. In this episode, she shares some of the most valuable experiences and lessons you can learn in a security career, transitioning into policing, and most importantly, how to stand out in the security industry.
Thank you so much for making time for this.
Yeah, I'm happy to be a part of it.
So just to start off, I would love to hear a little bit about your background. How did you run into Paladin or the security industry in the first place? What was like your first contact with it? How did you get there?
Well, I was about 20 years old. I was in college, and a couple of friends of mine had mentioned Paladin to me, and they were telling me that it was a really great opportunity. I'm sure, as you know, I'm wanting to pursue a career in law enforcement. So I felt that Paladin security could be a great stepping stone for me. So that definitely sparked my interest because I had 2 friends tell me about Paladin, and I was graduating. And I remember it was about I think March, and then I would have been graduating in April. So I remember thinking, this is a great opportunity. I'll put in an application and see what happens.
That's awesome. So it was through friends that you heard about Paladin then?
Yes, that's right.
That's great. Jason Magallanes, or JMag, who is Paladin's National Training and Development Manager. You probably know him, right?
Yes.
So he mentioned you were a veteran.
Yes.
Tell me a bit about that.
So I'm going on 6 years now with Paladin, and I've worked at about 4 different sites, all completely different. And it's been such a great experience. Like from the time that I started till now, like I've developed so much professional growth. And, I've worked full time since the time that I started with Paladin. I've worked at, a variety of sites. Like I've been at one-man sites. I've been at post-secondary institutions. I'm currently at an office tower. I've worked at College Park, which is a mall. It's been a great ride. And I'm really happy that I, decided to stay with Paladin because I've always enjoyed, all the sites that I've been at. The training that Paladin offers is really great. And I'd met a lot of good people within the company. So I decided to stay on with Paladin.
Awesome, Diana. So you're a security supervisor with Paladin right now.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes.
Can you talk a little bit about what was your first, all the roles you've held in between to get to security supervisor, and what's been some of your experiences moving through the ranks within Paladin?
Yeah. So my first site was George Brown. I was a security guard there. I learned quite a bit at George Brown. I was there for about 8 months. So I learned, all the basic security duties, patrols, writing reports, CCTV, just all the basic stuff. I dealt with medicals at the site. So I learned a lot of I built my foundation at George Brown working security. And then I had moved on to become a supervisor at the Michener Institute, which is a one-man site. So that was quite different from, being with a big team and rotating. We did the continental schedule at George Brown. So then when I had switched to the one-man site, it was like that Monday to Friday day shift, which was really different. So I was there for about a year and a half. And then I had heard from the CSM at the time, I heard about College Park. And I'd heard that it was a great site for people interested in pursuing a career in law enforcement. So that really sparked my interest. So then I applied for a team lead position at College Park, which was great because it gave me a bit of that administrative role as well as, being on the floor, dealing with different occurrences. I don't know if you know too much about College Park, but a lot goes on there. A lot of medicals and disturbances, and you're dealing with such a vast variety of people. So that gave me like a huge boost in my confidence in dealing with different types of people in difficult situations. Because at that point, I'd been at College Park for about almost 3 years. And I thought, you know what, this is an opportunity to take on something new and different, right? And so then I heard about Bay Adelaide Center, which is where I'm currently at now. I am a shift supervisor there. It's a really great place. It's quite different. It's very administrative, the role that I have. So a lot of different audits that we do and paperwork, lots of emails. So it's quite different from College Park because College Park, I was mainly on the floor dealing with different occurrences. And so I'm currently at Bay Adelaide. I really, really like it. I'm doing a swing shift schedule. So I'm doing a mix of the nights and day shifts, which is okay. It's been going well. I've been able to manage and here I am.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Great progression there within Paladin. I love it.
Yeah.
These kinds of profiles that we do, stories that we share, they're all about like Paladin's promotion from within philosophy and its culture. So in that sense, how did Paladin promotion from within and culture help you develop professionally and support your career in security, and ultimately you're pursuing a career in law enforcement? So has Paladin promotion from within and culture help you in any way to support that career in security and I guess ultimately law enforcement?
Oh, definitely. 100%. I completely agree that Paladin's promotion from within has really, really helped me. It's definitely just the fact that Paladin sees that, like everyone has something to offer and we all have different strengths. And I truly feel that Paladin saw mine and they saw my willingness to learn and my enthusiasm and they went with that. And, like I said, like I got, different opportunities to work at different sites and it's been, a really fun time. I've met so many different people and like Paladin definitely believes in their employees. And that's what I appreciate about Paladin. Cause I've said, I've received so many different opportunities and worked at so many different sites. So it's been great.
I love it. I love how you talk about your experience.
Yeah.
And you already talked about a little bit about it, but Paladin's training, we have a lot of specialized courses, continuous like mentorships and coaching. Everyone that I've talked to at Paladin, they have like their own mentors. So can you talk a little bit about like what kind of knowledge, skills, and tools have you gained that have boosted your career in security? And have some of these skills helped you or boosted your law enforcement application?
Yeah. I would say a lot of the customer service type based experiences that I've had, just the way you approach people, I feel is really important, especially like I would say kind of like your one-on-one approach. And it could be just somebody asking for directions, or maybe you have to vacate someone off the property. They're doing something prohibited, just your approach with that, your customer service, the way you carry yourself, your conduct. I've definitely gotten a lot out of Paladin's training. I remember, always using, as you would call it, your interview stance when you're, standing in front of someone. And I always took that with me and used it. Just dealing with aggressive individuals, how to make your approach with them, and trying to make it, because you still want to remain professional and stay calm and, stuff like that. Like I definitely can use, moving forward in my life, in my career. And I've gotten a lot from the use of force training that Paladin provides as well, because it kind of gives you more confidence when you go into these situations, because you have that basis of, this is what I've learned. We've done situational exercises in the training classes, and it gives you that boost of confidence when you go into these scenarios.
That's really cool. Yeah. Speaking about training and mentorship, when you decided to move up within the company, within Paladin, did anyone mentor you?
Yeah, for sure. Actually, when I was at College Park, like I said, I'd started as a team lead, and I never really thought that I'd want to pursue a supervisor position. I didn't think I was ready. I didn't think I wasn't confident in my skill set. But I remember J-Megs actually, he did a specialized use of force at the site. And it was a really great training. I remember, and I took a lot from it. It was really great. Me and my colleagues, we had a lot of fun. It was, kind of a team boosting exercise as well. Like it was a really good day. I remember good training. And he actually later on in the day, he reached out to me and he's like, there is that open supervisor spot. Like, why aren't you going for it? And at that time, like, I didn't even think to put in, my application for that position or anything. Cause like I said, like I didn't feel that my skill set was up to par with the supervisor position. Right. But he actually gave me like a really good pep talk, and he's like, like you have nothing to lose. Like this is an opportunity, right, to grow and to learn within the company. And then I thought about it, and it kind of, gave me that boost forward to just be like, you know what, I'm going to go for it. I got nothing to lose. It's going to be a good experience. And I mean, yeah, like why not? Right. So I went for it and actually really loved being a supervisor at College Park. Yeah. So no regrets there. And like I said, J-Megs is definitely like a mentor for me in that sense. Yeah.
That's great. So actually it was J-Megs.
Yes, it was. Yeah, yes, it was. Yeah.
He's been a great mentor for a lot of people here at Paladin. And
definitely.
He's really passionate about training.
Yeah.
And what did you know you wanted to pursue a career in law enforcement before joining Paladin, or was it during your journey with Paladin that you decided to, like, what made you pursue a career in law enforcement?
Oh, it was actually quite a long time ago. I was about 8 years old, actually, when I first got this idea in my head. And I always, looked up to them kind of as role models, police officers. And I thought that, what they did, protecting the public and educating people on safety was great. And it was always something that I admired. So I was around 8 years old when I got that idea in my head. And that's when I was like, I want to be a police officer when I grow up. And when I was in college, I heard about Paladin, and the friends that had told me about Paladin, they were actually in the policing program at Centennial. And they had heard about it from their professors, and a lot of their professors were police officers themselves, right? So then I thought, this is great, like, because I know I'm not ready to put in my application to be a police officer. So I'm going to go for something else that could give me that valuable experience, that could give me that confidence, right? And just to build my resume a little bit more. Yeah. So that's really basically how that all started. Yeah.
That's pretty awesome. And can you speak a little bit about, the classic question? What are the things that you love the most currently about working with at Paladin? Is it the culture? Is it the friend, like the relationships that you make here, the support you receive? What are the things that you can really like say, hey, I really love this about working at Paladin?
For me, it's definitely the culture. I've met so many great people, people that I consider to be close friends of mine. Some people I don't work with anymore. They've moved on to do other things or, but I still keep in touch with these people, right? So I've I've made lasting relationships with some of my colleagues. So that's definitely one of the reasons why I've loved working with Paladin. And just, everybody that I've worked with is so different, right? Like different age groups, men, women, everybody. Like it's been a really good time. I've met so many different people. And like I said, I've created lasting friendships with a lot of these people. And that's what I truly appreciate with Paladin, as well as the culture and the training. Like every training session that I've had, whether it's just, renewing my CPR, first aid, or use of force, like it's been great. It's interactive and it's a fun time. Yeah.
That's great. Yeah. The training that a lot of our security officers receive, it's very unique.
Yes.
And a lot of people a lot of companies train their officers just to deploy them as fast as they can. And we really take the time. We really take the time to train our officers the best way we can. And because at the end of the day, they're representing Paladin out in the field, right?
Yeah.
And that's how people see us. So it's great that you feel that way as well. I love this question, and because a lot of people have very interesting answers, and I would love to hear yours. What is one of your biggest learning experiences from any mistakes that you've made along the way?
I would say a big one for me is just not to be afraid of making mistakes, I would say. Because for me, my whole life, I've had this kind of almost like a fear, this nervousness of making a mistake and the outcome of that mistake. And that itself is an issue, because if you're afraid of making mistakes, you're not giving yourself the opportunity for growth, right? Because when you make these mistakes, you have the opportunity to correct them, to learn from them and grow, right? Failure is not always a bad thing, right? And a lot of people are scared of failure. And I can understand why it doesn't feel too great when you fail at something, but it's a learning opportunity, right? Because without failure, you can't grow and you can't push forward, right? So that's definitely something that I've learned.
What would be your advice for people looking to move within their ranks or move through their ranks within Paladin? What would be your advice to them reading that want to follow in your footsteps, that want to grow with the company, that might want to pursue a career in law enforcement as well? What would be your advice to them?
Well, if you see yourself somewhere, you should just go for it. Like I said before, fear of failure is a huge thing. It holds people back. So don't be afraid of failure. You have to try things in order to grow. Like I said, take advantage of everything that Paladin has to offer. Be professional, put your best foot forward, be enthusiastic about your work. Every day is different. We learn things every day, and we have to take those opportunities, right? And there's days where we all don't feel like going in for work, right? You're tired. Maybe there's something going on at home, but show up. And like I said, put your best foot forward, because it makes a difference and people will notice when you put in good work, right? And that will help you go far, right? Whether you want to stay within the security industry or go into law enforcement or anything else, it's important to, put your best foot forward, be enthusiastic, feel good about the work that you're doing, because it is important, right? So that's the advice that I would give. Just try to keep a positive mindset and enjoy the work that you do. Yeah. Get to know your colleagues as well. That's very important.
I love that. Yeah, that's definitely some good advice for people out there trying to either getting the security industry or in the security industry wanting to pursue a career in law enforcement.
My goal, my reason for applying with Paladin was because I needed to build my resume and I wanted to use it as a stepping stone into a future career in law enforcement, right? And honestly, I truly believe in the Paladin Difference. Going into the head office for the first time, I was really young. I was like 20 years old, right? So I remember going in for the training, and it was like that friendly, open environment. And that's what I really appreciated. And this was actually at the old office, which was on University Avenue. So I remember I went in for that first week of the orientation training, and I truly loved it. It was interesting. It was interactive. It was a smaller group of people, which is what I really liked. I got to learn people's names and learn about the company during the orientation. And like I said, like it's more of a friendly security company. And I don't know if you guys agree with that or if you know what I'm trying to say, but I feel like Paladin guards and the whole culture here is that we're approachable, right? So when guards are working at different sites, we put our best foot forward. We're approachable to the public, right? And it's so important to be that way. In the customer service, that's what it's all about. You say hello, you smile at people, you greet people. And that is the Paladin Difference. And that's why I stayed with Paladin, because Paladin truly values that, right? It's all about your conduct, the way you carry yourself. And so I've always liked that. And that's what I truly believe in. And that's why I've always stuck with Paladin.
I totally agree with that, and it's really awesome to hear that you're really proud about that too. You're literally a shining example of a Paladin Difference, and and it's definitely like our people first approach, like you say.
Yes,
our empathy-led security model that we present every day, and it's awesome to hear that you feel that way.
Yeah, definitely, and that's what I love about Paladin, right? And that's why I always stuck with Paladin, because of that Paladin Difference. Exactly. And I think I remember when I first started, I got a memo book from Paladin. And I think when I'd opened the first flap of the memo book, I think it was the first or second page. And there was some kind of quote that said, creating a safer and friendlier place, something along those lines. And it stuck with me. Right. And I loved how that quote was added in that memo book, because, you open your memo book every day. So to see that every day is kind of like a motivational type of quote. And I like that. And like I said, it really stuck with me. And I wish I could remember the exact wording of that quote.
If I remember it correctly, it's making the world a safer and friendlier place, correct?
Yeah. It must have been that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's definitely a motivational line and something that's really part of the core of Paladin's values and what we're trying to do, right? At the end, that's what we're trying to do, make a difference in our communities.
Yeah, exactly.
This has been amazing.
Oh, great. I'm so happy to hear that. Really looking forward to this, and I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Hey, thanks for tuning in with the Difference Makers. If you want to hear more about the ins and outs of the security industry from real professionals, be sure to subscribe, rate, review, and share. Also, check out new episodes on the first Tuesday of every month. Till next time.